So is this rock in view? Target 52?
We can't say for sure. Your current heading is 300. And no, just those ones down there. And the ones that are 15, 30, 50 meters out.
Did the mesograph just get really noisy?
We're ranging out the sonar. You see we're in 20-meter divisions.
Oh.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Answer the question about would scanning the ocean from space find the plane quicker, and the answer to that would be no. It would not provide nearly the detail that you need.
You won't find any of the
That
detail.
is a very interesting question.
So satellite altimetry is one tool that we use to
range
characterize.
we'll drop down and try to follow that target right in front of us, see if we can get there.
It's one tool that we use to characterize the seafloor.
We'll be on our way.
Based on changes in the water's height. So that can help reveal features underneath, but that's not going to be nearly the resolution we need to find something like a plane.
Yep.
It's a good guess, though.
Even though we had the Okeanos Explorer multi-beam map this area 2 years before we actually got here, we still needed to use the side scan sonar to try and find the targets.
Yeah.
So the closer you are, the better resolution you get.
That's a good question, though. And we do use satellite altimetry for bathymetric mapping, but for most of the oceans where we haven't used multi-beam sonar yet.
What is that? Is it a fish?
I want to say a fish. It's facing vertically in the water column. I'm gonna guess probably fish.
What's it doing? Just hanging out?
Sleeping.
Sleeping?
You know, one positive outcome of this tragedy was closer cooperation between Pan Am and Imperial Airways. Because when you think of airports today with airlines, all different airlines landing in one place.
So why don't we step over to that target there to the west? Take a peek at it. What do you think, Science, or do you want to forgo it?
Are we thinking that we wanted to go look at 53, or that we wanted to find something in this area that is not 53?
That's towards the direction of 53.
I would say I'm not interested. Well, we're already mostly there anyways.
It's up to you. So we want to check out, from what I understand from Mike, is we're going to go to 30 and check that out.
Correct.
And then 31. And then, but as we step, we have, you know, 53 that we could put Argus towards.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine.
So we'll just go, we'll pass over it. Let's just do 280.
That's fine.
And then we'll pass over this thing. Or wait, sorry, no, your heading is, no, we'd have to go 225 for that, wouldn't we? Yeah. We can probably see it, actually.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, that's an interesting rock feature.
Do you want to step towards it in that direction? Or we could go towards 53. So that rock is at roughly 225 versus 53 would be around 270.
This is definitely a rock.
Yeah.
So towards 53.
Okay, I'll step west. Bridge nav. 1 step west, 50 meters. Thank you.
What is it, Peyton? The little floppy thing?
Those are polychaete worms.
Oh.
So they have setae, which are like little hairs or bristles, and they basically are just wiggling those through the water to move.
So we're heading to 30 now?
Sorry, what was that?
Are we heading to 30 now?
No, we're going to 32.
32?
Just going to do a quick meso scan in the area, see if there's anything worth pursuing, then we'll go to 30.
32 or
53.
53?
Sorry, 53 is
Okay.
what I meant. It's like, you know, if you flip the two numbers and then subtract 3, it's easy. It's like subtract 1. Subtract 21 or
When you do some number
flip
of
the numbers
operations.
Yeah.
So the question coming about, do rocks and other objects show up differently in the short range sonar? If you're talking about the meso in front, it usually does a pretty good job of showing you the shape of something.
Yeah, the shape is excellent. Excellently preserved. Still suffers the same side scan or any sonar is that you can't see what's behind it, but
Yeah.
should have mounted the C prints on top of the. It's higher frequency. I always think of it as vehicle north. facing vehicle north, but yeah, vehicle north. If you were to plan out which way is north on the vehicle, heading is forward, vehicle north. Vehicle north on Argus. That's what I'm always doing. Vehicle north on Argus and vehicle north on Hercules, and then like flip them and then look at the compasses and put them over here. Yeah, it's a lot of. Get it to rotate to your actual. Yeah. Interesting.
Lonnie.
And we do.
You were starting a story about Imperial Airways and Pan Am?
Yeah, so when you think of modern day airports with all different airlines landing in one place, the sharing space, that wasn't the case. But this tragedy brought about a closer cooperation between Pan Am and the British Imperial Airways, and they agreed to cooperate not only for safety, but for sharing landing fields. So it's a positive outcome.
Those of you watching at home, continue to send in those questions.
Peyton, can you confirm that the last row, of the west lines we did, was that 27?
1 sec.
Thank you.
So each of those lines on the forward-facing sonar are 10 meters apart right now. Gives us about a 50-meter view.
Nav.
Yes.
Should we expect to see something on the mezzo like to the immediate west, or are we facing a different direction?
We're now facing west.
Oh, okay.
So north is west.
Okay.
The north, yeah, the north arrow on
I could fix that.
the mezzo is.
Maybe I can fix it. I'm not going to do it now, though, 'cause I'll jack it up right when it is in a critical moment.
I'm glad we reassessed.
No, you just turn the compass rose off. It's confusing to everyone except Rennie or
Yeah.
Argus North. And now we'll jack him all up because he's used to looking at it that way.
All right,
He
thank you
does
for
some
your
mental dance.
Thanks for your patience, Nav. It was 27.
27, roger. So yeah, we'll go over to 28.
Yeah, if you had one of the Argus headings available on a comport for the sonar machine, you can, yeah, the easiest one to have is, there's a standard NMEA string for nautical heading that thing will take without having to do some field decoding of the string. Otherwise, you gotta do some cryptic field decoding of the data coming in to get it to work. It's not real fun. It can be done if you're bored.
How long did it take us to get down to the bottom when we...
when you launched?
Yes.
A couple hours.
Couple hours?
Yep.
We do about 25 meters a minute, so...
Is that like on purpose, or are we just going down with our weight?
25 to 30 meters a minute is kind of the standard sciencey ROV ascent descent rates.
Okay.
They tend to run a little slower here. I mean, they'll do 20 to 25.
Yeah.
They don't seem to go much higher than that.
Is that faster or slower than like if you threw a chair overboard?
Let's do an experiment on the next dive.
Well, that's what I was wondering. If we threw a chair over now, how long until we see it?
It's half speed.
Half speed?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If you let a piece of flotation go at depth, it comes up roughly at a meter a second, 60 meters a minute.
Okay.
Did you have a chair in mind? I could go.
You know, any chair.
Okay.
I have a spare anvil.
Watch out for that goat.
It's a little bit more forward way, but I don't think we're going to see anything in this area.
Negatory goes right there. Not even a rock.
Can we bump out to 15, see what we got? Yeah.
Okay. So Argus receives power through its tether. That cable provides power directly from the ship.
Umbilical.
Lots of power.
Lots of power.
Lots and lots of power.
Argus has an umbilical. Tether is air mid cable. Umbilical is the wire.
Anything you see there, Megan?
Nope.
So should we go to...
I am quite happy for us to motor.
Let's go to 30. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Okay. Bridge nav.
Or you can spin if you want to see the rock.
Can we proceed to the selected target? Thank you.
So are we just looking for these targets in the meso, or?
Yeah, we had them.
Because something showed up on side scan, right?
Right, and we located 50 and 51 and 31 were probably the same target, and we located that and went to it. There are targets here that we saw, like 52, but I think we're getting a good enough impression from the meso that they're just rocks.
We're also getting a really good impression of the very empty seafloor.
Yeah.
And so if something, if we're obviously not seeing a wing structure in the sonar, and then at this point we would be looking for debris, there would be debris everywhere, and we wouldn't just so happen to miss it just because we weren't looking straight at it.
Yeah.
So I think that we feel pretty confident when we move on.
Concur, Dr. Megan.
Well,
Sorry, Rennie, what's the bearing now?
The bearing to target for Argus is 120.
120, roger.
It's still swinging a bit, so it's roughly 120.
So after we finish putting these targets into our Argus's camera, unless we see something that really jumps out at us as, debris from the Simone Clipper, we're going to continue on to our westward search area where we have some smaller search lines that we are going to go and do some side scan sonar reading over. We're slowly heading over to target 30. And we're going to put the camera over to see what we see there. But these ship moves that we do are not particularly fast. So we'll be in there in a few minutes. Thanks for joining us. People all over the world continuing to send in those questions. All right, Lonnie, here's another one. I'm not sure if we answered this one already. Jamaica.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yeah?
I knew it.
Yes.
All right, here's another one. Hong Kong.
Nope.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Didn't
Now in
anticipate
transit,
that one.
or you've spent time there?
It was on the Pan Am route from Bangkok. We lived in Bangkok, and a $50 difference to fly east or west. So sometimes we'd fly out via Hong Kong and Tokyo and Honolulu and LA, and other times the other direction. So often in Hong Kong.
I'm going to guess yes to this one, but the Czech Republic.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, man.
Yes.
Prague, what a beautiful city.
Yeah, architecturally unbelievable. 12 centuries of unbombed architecture.
The doorways. I like that old Hong Kong airport. Kind of miss that.
That's a kind of a frightening landing.
Yeah. You're looking up at somebody's laundry.
Hmm.
In the mountains, and suddenly you're in.
It was very strange to go to Hong Kong the first time after the reversion and to have Chinese military in the airport instead of the old one.
Kind of unsettling.
It's just a change. Still have a theory that a lot of the smaller sub-Saharan African change in countries and country names and borders and coups and all that is backed by the Cartographers Union or Rand McNally or something like that.
It's time for a new map.
Yeah.
I've heard the cartographer cartels. Don't mess around with them.
Yeah. That's how Eritrea came into being. The Grand Duchy of Fenwick.
After 30, are we going to check out 31, or are we going to go on towards the, what was it, lines to the west?
It's on the way to go west, and the plan was to hit it, but it's up to the science row.
We're going to hit it.
We're going to hit it. I love a good definitive science row. None of this wishy-washy. Well, what do you think?
Well, maybe. Thanks, Harvey from Toronto, from turning in. Your question about would most of this wreckage not be around still, we actually expect it to be remarkably preserved if and when we find it. The vessel, or excuse me, the ship was actually made out of, or excuse me, plane was made out of metal, and that preserves fairly well at this depth.
Aluminum.
And aluminum. Also, not usually a home for marine organisms that decide to attach to it because of what it's composed of. But we have not found the Simone Clipper yet, or any of its pieces or components that may have sank. Still looking. So here's a question for Dr. Megan via your sister. Why do we do lines of sonar mapping instead of one big concentric circle?
That's not a question for me. Somebody else?
You could. Eventually your ship turns would be pretty tight, but mostly that would be kind of really uncomfortable for everyone on the ship because you're going against and with wind and swell at different, you'd be rolling around a lot, getting thrown in different directions. You can, if you've got a C-mount, there's like for multi-beam mapping, I'll speak for that. A viable way to map it is in concentric circles. But for this, because we're towing something behind us and not knowing quite what the currents are doing and the layback and how wide those circles would be if they're getting tighter, I think it would probably cause more trouble than it's worth. But I could be convinced otherwise if someone has a better reason to do that.
But the notion of doing an expanding search from the best known position you have is a valid one. It could be, you know, what we did as a grid based on that. Shot straight across the center, worked our way up north a little bit, worked our way south a little bit.
I think if you had completely calm seas and you weren't in towing an anchor at 3,200 meters of water, that would be certainly a good way to do it.
Yeah. The hard part is that if you do like 3 north lines and then 3 south lines, and then you're like, let's expand the north lines, the transit time from that end of that south line up north, that starts chewing up a lot of time. So
yeah.
Trying to minimize that time by knocking out a lot of north.
Yeah, turn time is not insignificant, which is one of the reasons why some people map seamounts that way. In general, though, you'd have to be adjusting Argus's heading constantly and guessing at its current vector.
Especially in relation to the last line.
Right, and with our
and with the lag.
Yeah, I think it would be difficult.
You like trying to color inside the lines on a paint shaker.
Yeah.
So you would be asking it, what's its vector, Victor?
Yes, I would.
Excellent.
Roger.
Excellent.
Man, it is cold over here in this corner.
Yeah, I might go grab a
It's kind of balmy back
quick
here.
snack. We're
actually.
freezing up here.
Yeah, it's chilly. We can switch.
Maybe I'll grab some M&Ms. That sounds good.
Does anyone know how M&Ms got their name? That's not a trivia thing. That's a legit question.
Is it Mars?
Yeah, I was thinking something with the Mars company.
There's a Mars factory in Albany, Georgia, where I used to live.
The 2 M's represent the names of Forrest E. Mars Sr., the founder of the Newark Company, and Bruce Murray, son of Hershey Chocolate's president, William F.R. Murray.
Oh. Learn something new every day. I also wonder how those get their names. Like, why is it called a Snicker? I never laugh when I eat it.
Deep Thoughts
Yes.
by Jack Handy.
Oh, named after their favorite horse of the Mars family in 1930.
Interesting.
The horse must have been delicious.
Oh, you're going to have some write-ins on that one.
We don't eat horses.
Says Brian, backpedaling.
Yes.
It's on the menu. It's in a lot of countries.
In swoops Lonnie with our dose of reality.
I've had horse salami, actually, and it was pretty good. In Croatia.
Get horse sushi in Japan.
Oh, yeah?
Mm.
I'm not sure if I would go that. That's a bit hardcore for me, but Horse salami was pretty good.
It's a really good reaction from all your Facebook friends when you post it.
Do you know that Mars also makes cat food?
Didn't know that.
Yeah, they make Whiskas.
Oh.
They also make Uncle Ben's rice.
That's weird.
Did not anticipate that. And pedigree dog food.
About 50 meters south, right? How do you feel about that?
Why is that?
The way we're moving and what we're looking at.
Which
and you gotta go that way anyways to hit T31, don't you?
Yeah. I just wanted to get to 30 and scan there first, because what if it's beyond 30? You know, what if there's something over here? So I want to sit here, at least get here and see what's in that area. And maybe on the way back we could hit it if it's a target of interest. I just don't want to step down now. Argus will still swing this way anyway, and then it'll go down. I'd have to backtrack, I think, and then go down for it to get over there. Is what you're saying is you want Argus to go 50 meters south here?
I think if you do 50 meters south, we'll still hit T30, and we might be able to get a visual on that target there.
Okay. I think I want to see if there's anything out here before we make that move south.
I was thinking the south and then east to keep it moving, because it's like barely moving now. It's basically not moving.
Yeah. Just don't want to bring it south and miss anything up here if there's anything.
I don't think you will. Step south and then step east.
But we won't be able to backtrack, you know what I mean? Like if we're like, oh, let's go look at that thing.
Why not?
Because it would take more time. We could. But if we bring it here.
Yeah, they just want a visual on the flyby. So right now it's not moving. We're not going anywhere, basically.
I mean, I don't think it's going to settle there. But so if I do a 50.
Well, you need to move somewhere because we're not moving, so.
All right. Bridge nav.
The same target for a while.
Can I have a step 50 meters south? Thanks. I don't know if that's gonna where it'll put us.
It'll bring that little one target that we have into view.
Because we're facing south now, yeah.
Yeah, we are.
Thanks for the heads up from one of our viewers. Apparently a Chinese space station is actually scheduled to descend and burn up on a re-entry in the Pacific. July 19th, so today.
Cool. So if that hit the ocean right next to our boat, how long until we saw it on Argus cam?
So it's supposed to be an area near New Zealand. But that's a pretty wide area.
Have all aircraft switched to carrying life vests now? Or is it just certain airlines? Or is it only a West Coast thing?
I don't know.
When you fly and they give the safety briefing, do they still tell you how to hold on to the seat cushion? Or do they show you how to put a life vest on? You've never seen a safety briefing.
Life vest. I think the seat cushion thing was pretty ridiculous.
That kind of went away, yeah.
I think it's still the same on some of them.
It's been life vest for like every flight I've taken in the past.
Yeah.
Sort of 5 years.
Right, even the smaller planes.
Yeah.
Right.
The MD... the MD-80s to make the wing exit doors, the access work, they put a half-height seat cushion on that seat. And if you ever had that seat on an MD-80, you would sit down and it felt like granite. Just wham. Actually, there was a bad boy once on the plane. I was one of the first people on. I swapped my seat cushion with the center one.
Ooh, you're a terrible person.
Yeah. Oh, it's going out the window with me anyway.
Nav?
Yes.
What direction is Argus facing?
Current Argus heading is 135, 130, 125.
What does that mean for archaeologists?
It's facing roughly southeast.
Thank you.
I think it was more than just archaeologists.
Well, it's okay. I'm cheating. I have a compass right in front of me. Argus's page there. I don't know if you guys have that back in the back row, but
Oh, we don't have it up. We can put it up though.
yeah. In the upper right corner, there's a little.
I can switch mine. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna switch Lonnie's because we don't need to. So. Oh, okay. Whoa. Okay, so I suppose I can see the bearing, but that still doesn't mean that I know what it is.
What's that?
Nothing.
So we should be seeing 31 somewhere, or excuse me, 30 somewhere, correct?
Well, see, 30, we had a couple targets, right? 30 was the first one we went to, the target that we dropped, and then the target that was dropped in post-processing was up here. So it's possible there wasn't much. We're on it now, roughly. Argus is approaching it.
And there's nothing in the meso?
No, and there's a 15-meter division, so now we're heading down. There is a southward move in there. Argus hasn't seen it yet. It's still gone the last direction we called in. So next move will be Argus will be going a bit south. Right now the ship is called in to go west, so the Argus will probably do kind of an arc like this.
Okay.
Just because we saw a possible target here and might clip it on the way, but
okay.
I don't.
I
You
have a
can
hard
see
time
that
making
there's
out the bottom.
nothing in the meso, so.
Yeah.
Are we still 15 above?
We are, yes, 15 above.
Do you ever wonder what Argus sees when it teleports like 50 meters to a side really quickly and
Just
then comes back?
instantaneously, yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows what Argus sees? I'm actually pretty impressed with aside from the erratic outliers, pretty impressed with being this deep and how tight of a cluster.
Yeah.
It is. If we were operating in 200 meters of water, every time you move the ship, well, first of all, Argus is always immediately at the stern of the ship. Every time you move it, it moves very quickly in whatever direction you just called. And the cluster of both Hercules and Argus USPL hits are just, super precise.
We did a dive several years ago where Argus was at the back of the boat and maybe 3 feet underwater. You could have stood on the top of Argus and been breathing air. I think that was up in Canada. No, Channel Islands.
Bridge nav. You can add 50 more meters, 50. Thank you. We're only just now seeing that south move.
Sorry, I know you said it about 100 times, but how close are those white lines?
Those are 5 meter contours.
5
meter
contours.
vertical contours, yes.
Okay.
And so it's going downslope in the northwest direction.
No, well, 28. 28, including the holiday.
The line?
How many lines have we done? Lonnie was wanting to know. I think it's 28, including the holiday.
That would depend on if all those numbers were sequential, and we didn't. Let me look at my.
Well, the original search area was 21.
1 through 21, and then we skipped line 22 because it was kind of too close here.
Oh, okay.
We figured we got enough of the turn data, so then we did 23 to 27. And I think we got, did we go down to the south?
Yeah, we did one there.
We did at least one there, right? And then came up.
Yeah, and then we came up and did the holiday.
So then maybe it is 27.
27, okay.
So Ed, I don't know if you know the answer to this one, but the red dot in the lower right screen of the quad, which we can't see since that's being pushed out, is that our current location?
Maybe.
Maybe. That picture you see in the lower right hand corner of the quad is put out by the University of Rhode Island, not us, so on the ship we actually can't see it.
We haven't moved in a week, so there's
Yeah.
no track line behind us.
Yeah, that image is very large in terms of area, and when you put it in context that we've been searching, moving around a 2 square mile search area, it would look like we've hardly moved, if at all. The questions come in about, has there been any area that has surprised us based on the seafloor mapping? It's already been done, and I don't believe so. The Okeanos Explorer came out here 2 years ago and gave us a nice multi-beam map of the area, and that's really been helpful in terms of identifying, where we're going. Do we need to be prepared for any steep inclines, declines, etc. With Argus. So we've pretty much known what was here in terms of the general topography of the bottom of the ocean down here, but what rocks were where and things like that, I mean, that's just the only type of thing you get really is if you do some more detailed mapping like we did with our side scan sonar. We're hoping that it would have shown the Simone Clipper, but so far it hasn't. Doesn't mean it won't, it just has not yet. You never know. Rennie, are we north of the island of American Samoa?
Yes, we're still 15 nautical miles north.
Thanks.
Haven't really moved. Yeah, still north of the island, but northwest, I guess you could say.
Thanks, Rennie. And thank you, viewer, for that question. See a rock.
Peyton, what's on the rock?
It looks like there's an
Sediment.
anemone.
Bridge now.
I wouldn't be able to identify it from here though.
Where do you see that anemone?
One more step, 270.
it's on
Let's just do 40
lighter
meters.
colored rock, sort of
Thank you.
facing towards us.
good question about the side scan sonar mapping. The post-processing software that's used can stitch together images to create more of a
mosaic.
Yeah, we'll say mosaic. The distortion that is in there, it can also alleviate some of that, not all of it. But at the end, we will have a mosaic map of this area using the side scan sonar, which will hopefully also be a bit clearer than what you've probably experienced if you're watching the side scan sonar live as we continue to do our passes over the area. Yep. 30 minutes left in this watch, and then the 4 to 8 group will come and join with you. So Lonnie, a question's coming in. Were all the reports consistent in terms of putting the clipper on the north side of the island? Or were there any that potentially conflicted and said that it was on a different side?
Actually, there was a newspaper report. I mean, the newspapers published conflicting theories.
Mm-hmm.
There was one newspaper report that thought it had probably landed on the south side. It was a flurry of conjecture for the first couple of days, so, but the lats and longs that we have were only on the northwest side. There was one theory that because there was a gap in the communications, that perhaps the plane had landed, repaired something, and took off again, and that's why there was no communication, and perhaps it had landed in the south side, but there was never any evidence to bear those theories out.
Thanks for those questions, viewers. Continue to send them in.